The top three Democratic primary contenders slugged it out at the debate the other night. This clip is one of my favorites. You're going to see Bernie, forget it. Bernie lands a tombstone pile driver here on Biden. Warren, a little bit shaky. Take a look.
Clarify, Vice President, who are you saying is being vague?
Well, the senator said she's being vague on the issue of, actually both of them being vague on the issue of the Medicare for all. No, look, here's the deal. It costs $30 trillion. Guess what? That's over $3 trillion a year. It's more than the entire federal budget. Let me finish, okay?
You'll both get it.
If you eliminated the entire Pentagon, every single thing, plane, ship, troop, the buildings, everything, satellites, it would pay for a total of 4 months. 4 months. Where do you get the rest? Where does it come from?
Two things.
Senator Sanders, respond.
In two ways. Joe, you talked about working with Republicans and getting things done. But you know what you also got done, and I say this as a good friend. You got the disastrous war in Iraq done. You got a bankruptcy bill which is hurting middle-class families all over this country. You got trade agreements like NAFTA and PNTR with China done, which have cost us 4 million jobs. And let's get to Medicare for all. Let's be honest. We spend twice as much per person as do the people of any other major country on earth. And the answer is, if we have the guts, and I would like to see the Democratic Party have that guts, to stand up to the drug companies and the insurance companies and tell them that the function of health care is to guarantee care to all people, not to make $100 billion in profit. If we stood together, we could create the greatest health care system in the world. Vice President Biden, you can respond, and then Senator Warren.
We can do that without Medicare for all. We can do that by adding a public option. We can.
No,
and we can afford to do it.
You got to take on the greed and the profiteering of the healthcare industry.
Let him respond, Vice President.
The greed and profiteering of those insurance companies. They are as much against my bill as they are anybody else. They were strongly against Obamacare. They know it costs them, and it's going to take away the right of people to choose, the 160 million people out there who've negotiated their health insurance, and they want to keep it. They should have a right to keep it.
Senator Warren, your response.
So you started this question with how you got something done. You know, following the financial crash of 2008, I had an idea for a consumer agency that would keep giant banks from cheating people. And all of the Washington insiders and strategic geniuses said, don't even try, because you will never get it passed. And sure enough, the big banks fought us, the Republicans fought us, some of the Democrats fought us. But we got that agency passed into law. It has now forced big banks to return more than $12 billion directly to people they cheated.
She referenced me. Okay. I agreed with the great job she did. And I went on the floor and got you votes. I got votes for that bill. I convinced people to vote for it. So let's get those things straight, too.
Senator Warren, do you want to respond?
I am deeply grateful to President Obama, who fought so hard to make sure that agency was passed into law. And I am deeply grateful to every single person who fought for it and who helped pass it into law. But understand—
You did a hell of a job of your job.
Thank you.
By the way, they're full of it. Elizabeth Warren had to really force Obama to include the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau for exactly the reason that she laid out, that like all the strategists and they were like, come on, be serious, it'll never work, and you can't get it through, no way. And she really worked overtime to get that Consumer Financial Protection Bureau in there, and that's the best thing she's ever done. She really did return $12 billion to defrauded Americans from big financial institutions, including me. I got a check in the mail for hundreds of dollars that a credit card company defrauded me. So Obama was not the one who was championing the idea. He wanted to leave it on the side of the road. But Biden is even worse. Biden did not whip votes for her. He was screaming at her like, I got votes for that. He didn't. That's not true. He didn't do it. Ryan Grimm, who's an expert on all this stuff, was like, yeah, I went back and checked. That's not true. He didn't do it at all. He had an advisor who was in favor of the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. Biden was not. He was not fighting for it. He wasn't getting votes. So he's full of it. Man, listen. A lot of these candidates are just flat dishonest. Every argument that I heard in this debate against Medicare for All was just dishonest. It wasn't even like, oh, I really do have a principled disagreement with it and here's why. No, they were just all dishonest arguments, every single one of them. But either way, I don't know who won that exchange, to be honest with you. There's an argument that because Biden yelled and it almost came across as like really patronizing, that Elizabeth Warren won the exchange. But then there's also an argument that, she wasn't really on message there. She was very like wobbly and meandering. And that's what we noticed in this debate, is that when she's under pressure, she gets too wordy and she meanders too much. And she decidedly doesn't do that when she's not under pressure, because in the previous debates, I think she performed better, and she wasn't doing that. This debate, she was doing that nonstop, and almost everybody except Bernie was gunning for her in this debate, because now she's the leader in the Real Clear Politics average of polling. And even if you put aside the average, which some people say there's problems with that average, she's still doing well in other polls as well. So, but Bernie was the one who really landed the body blows there. For sure. Now, to respond directly to what Biden was saying about $30 trillion, can't afford it. Blah, 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 blah. Listen, man, how many times have we gone over this? I just covered it in the last segment. Very simply put, Medicare for All over a 10-year period saves $5 trillion. It saves money. The question isn't, how can we afford Medicare for All? The question is, how can we not afford to do Medicare for All? Because our current system is unsustainable and wildly expensive, because we have an unnecessary, rapacious, mafia-like, for-profit middleman, which shouldn't be there. Other developed countries don't have that middleman. They don't have it. We do. Now, he says, oh, the insurance companies, the healthcare industry are just against my bill as they are against yours. Flat out lie. Flat out lie. Because Bernie's bill is an existential threat to the entire industry. Biden's bill is not. Biden's bill keeps them intact. They still exist. They still, have giant sway over the healthcare market. No, it's not even close. They're scared to death of Bernie's bill, and they're fine with Biden's bill, or to the extent that they're against it, which I don't even know if they are. It wouldn't be nearly as much as they're against Bernie's bill. Bernie's bill gets rid of all duplicative for-profit private insurance. So if it's covered by Medicare for All, it cannot be covered by a private health insurance company. It's like if you have, a fire department, it's like you can't go out and pay some asshole who's lying to you and to, protect me if there's a fire. No, you already have it through the fire department. You're not going to go pay somebody else. So the duplicative, insurance provision is the heart of Medicare for All. The only thing Bernie allows in terms of private insurance is supplemental, which is totally fine, which is all those weird things around the edges that, you want some sort of insurance for, I don't know, plastic surgery, for example. You want some sort of insurance for weird things that aren't proven, like homeopathy. That's fine, do that. But, in terms of actual healthcare, no, we have a single payer. That single payer is the single insurer. That is the government. You have one risk pool. So it's not, I can't believe he says something like that so brazenly when you could check it easily and he's wrong. He's so full of it. It's really amazing. So he accuses them of being vague on Medicare for All. What's amazing is, especially Bernie, Elizabeth Warren didn't release a healthcare plan yet. Why? Because she doesn't really believe in Medicare for All, and she's trying to have her cake and eat it too and act like, yeah, I'm in favor of it. And then, everybody's saying, including Harry Reid, who's a former Democratic leader, she's going to pivot in the general. She doesn't believe in it. But Bernie's incredibly specific. He's the most specific on healthcare. So to accuse them of being vague, no, you're the one who's vague because your plan is this weird middle ground. And, according to experts, your own numbers that you give on how many people would be uninsured, and it's all misleading. Millions of people wouldn't have insurance under your plan. You can't accuse them of being vague. But the real haymaker that landed was, you want to talk about getting things done? Because before that clip, Biden was bragging about what he got done. And Bernie was like, yeah, you know what else he got done? The Iraq War. You know what else he got done? The bankruptcy bill, which hurt working families. You know what else he got done? Bad trade deals like NAFTA and PNTR, permanent normal trade relations with China. Millions of jobs lost as a result of that. Millions of lives lost as a result of the Iraq War. Yeah, let's talk about what you got done there, fella. You got experience, but it's bad experience. So, yeah, Bernie was the big winner of that exchange. Many people after the debate were talking about that exchange and how Bernie nailed it. So, I mean, they got Biden on the ropes. It's just a matter of his people actually paying attention and that default support continuing to slip away. But eventually, when Biden is out of the picture, there will eventually have to be a debate between Bernie and Warren. You know, assuming you get the predicted trajectory of this race. And we don't know for sure if it'll be the case because who knows anything, okay? But assuming we get the predicted trajectory, at some point it'll be Elizabeth Warren versus Bernie Sanders, and they'll have to start, you know, going against each other, and that would be interesting when we get to that point. But, yeah, Biden, I mean, just, he's so useless. Like, his entire existence in this is just lie, gaslight, mislead, incoherent babbling. Like, that's his contribution to the entire debate.